just when I thought I'd seen every Cheers episode, I discovered the existence of Mickey's 60th birthday, and this is fabulous. I am going to discuss it in two ways, partly with my heart and partly with my head. So very briefly, this is about an hour-long episode special celebrating, of course, Mickey Mouse's 60th birthday, and it starts off with a fictional show that Mickey is putting on to celebrate his 60 years, and then he goes missing, and then we get these phone newscasts of updates with where he could be or suspects who may be involved in the disappearance of this mouse, and it combines live action and animation, and I'd say that's done beautifully, but it's the 80s. I would have expected no less at this point. But the editing is brilliant, and it does flow beautifully from start to finish. So we do have this kind of core narrative of Mickey Mouse going missing, and it gets quite sentimental, but it also gets a little bit depressing as they start to contemplate at one point what a world would be like without Mickey Mouse. And I'm pretty sure if you're a young child watching this, it may reduce you to tears. It is depressing at one point. But mostly, it's a celebration of Mickey Mouse. And around the newscasts, we get to hear from different people, and they share their stories of Mickey or memories of Mickey by taking us through the original merchandise. We get to see an original Mickey Mouse watch and a Mickey Mouse radio. And, this is now 2021. And to think how far Mickey Mouse has come in that time, it's really quite insane. It's almost been 100 years. And this comprises all kinds of clips from his shorts and his TV shows and his appearances. And I've relatively recently, over the last few months, been watching a lot of Disney shorts. So it was quite fun to try and see the clips in fast motion and see which ones I recognised. There were obviously some scenes that I hadn't seen before from shorts that I've not yet watched. And we get to have a look at his relationship with Minnie, and over the top of that they play Once Upon a Dream, which is one of my all-time favourite Disney songs. So that was lovely. And then they did play a clip where I did choke up a bit, or a montage of Mickey interacting with Pluto. And I just thought, what if Pluto doesn't have Mickey again? What if he doesn't get his father back? Absolutely depressing stuff. But one of the biggest selling points for this is when we are following Mickey with where he actually is, because we as a viewer know where Mickey is. And he goes onto these different TV shows and interacts with these different TV actors. And I have to say, the only one that I knew anything about was Cheers. And I won't spoil too much, but his moment on Cheers was just perfect. Having Kelsey Grammer and Kirstie Alley and Ted Danson and Norm, George Wendt, interacting with this cartoon mouse is just so incredible. And at the very end of the Cheers clip, which I won't go into any detail about, but at the very end of the Cheers clip, there's this beautiful, heartwarming moment, and I absolutely adore it. It also incorporates family ties, which I have never seen. It took me a while to realise that that was a real show and not just part of this fictitious narrative. Hunter, L.A. Law, and The Cosby Show. So, judging with my heart, it's emotional. It is a trip down memory lane for me. Certainly, if you watch this in the 80s when it came out, a lot of these clips would have been quite new and fresh, and it would have been kind of a whirlwind of maybe recent memories or experiences with Mickey. I think everybody watching this is going to have a different approach and will have a different relationship with Mickey Mouse. For me, I love Mickey. I love Disney. Mickey has not ever been one of my favourite Disney characters, but as I'm watching these shorts and dipping into the early days of Disney, I'm becoming more and more attached to him. The more I learn about his history, the more intriguing I find the mouse. Judging with my head, I'd say it's very well edited, very well put together, maybe a little bit too emotional for the younger viewer. Because if a young child thinks that their favourite character is being seriously hurt by another character, I won't say which character, but I will say you can probably guess at who they're pointing the finger at. It's a very neurotic and chaotic and angry character. A character who I like. This is wonderful. It is fabulous. I didn't care much for the scenes with Family Ties or LA Law or the other things that I have no emotional connection to. But the montages were beautiful. The Cheers scenes were perfect. Absolutely adored it. If you're a fan of Mickey Mouse, you have to watch this. It's just, it's absolutely beautiful.